You're now listening to Sound Talent Media. Check out more shows at soundtalentmedia.com.
Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm Matt Migaki, the vocalist of Cryptopsy and the host of the Vox and Hops Metal Podcast, where I sit down with fellow metal musicians. We talk all about their lives and music while sharing killer craft beers. If you've ever wanted to sneak backstage and share a beer with one of your favorite musicians, well, Vox and Hops is the podcast for you. This week on the podcast, I dropped a killer episode with Johannes Ekström of Avatar. There is this episode and over 440 other ones to help you enjoy life, metal, and craft beer. So what are you waiting for? It's time to become a Vox and Hops head. Cheers!
How is it going, folks? How are you doing? I want to let you know about something, and that something is Gun Street Wiring Shop. You've been listening for a few weeks, and you've been hearing about Gun Street, and you've been hearing me tell you how awesome they are, and you know what? Nothing's changed. They still are. They're still the best place to go for all your guitar wiring needs. So if you got a Les Paul with scratchy pots, you got a, you got a Stratocaster that you're looking to get the system updated into some new crazy thing, that's where you go. You go to gunstreetwiringshop.com, you check out all the offerings they have, and if they don't have exactly what you're looking for, that's when you got to email Sean and say, hey man, I need to invert the whatever to the whatever to the whatever, and they can make it happen. So go to gunstreetwiringshop.com, check them out. They will hook you up. I also want to tell you about a little something called Sinusoid. You know the Soid boys. They've been supporting this cast for a long time, and we very, very much appreciate it. And I want to talk to you about TechFlex. TechFlex is like a protective mesh that goes around the cable, and you can, it helps prevent cuts, it helps prevent tears, it slides around really easy. TechFlex is a wonderful thing, and you can get it in all kinds of custom colors. And what's really cool is when you put it over certain other colors of cable, so you put like a blue TechFlex over a white cable, it totally changes the vibe. I like seeing red flex over black. I like all this stuff. So the combinations are almost endless, and they really, really are cool. It's a neat thing. So check out sinusoid.com and check out the TechFlex. And a little thing, I don't know if this is a normal thing, but I actually had somebody message me recently, another cable company, who maybe wasn't aware of Sinusoid, or I'm not really sure what the situation is. This cable company claimed to have a patent on TechFlex on cables, which is not true. So I got a good chuckle out of that one. I won't name names, but Sinusoid does not hold the patent either, but they do flex their cables, and they have more options than anybody else out there that I'm aware of. So check out sinusoid.com and get yourself that Superfly cable that you've been needing for your instrument. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the ToneMob.com podcast, the show about guitar tone and the people behind it. Again, I'm Blake Weiland, and with me today I have returning from a long hiatus, Mr. Ryan Burke of the 60 Cycle Hum podcast.
Have I been on hiatus?
From this show? I mean,
I thought I didn't know it was hiatus. I thought it was one and done. So I wasn't thinking like, oh my gosh, I'm letting people down. I'm on hiatus. I'm not producing for the Tone Mob right now. People are going to be upset.
Oh, they've been very, very upset. I don't want to even share with you the emails I've been getting.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like he doesn't care anymore. He's all focused on that 60 Cycle Hum thing, and like he's gotten too big, flying to Germany and all this stuff.
He's forgotten
his roots.
I was supposed to be an unofficial co-host, and I just never got the memo. I don't know.
I've been sending you all those letters via carrier pigeon. They must have got lost.
Oh, I shoot any bird that comes anywhere near my property. So that's what's been going on. I got this whole thing with birds. I don't like them. So.
No, I understand. I mean, they can be a menace. That's if it flies into your airspace, you just blasting.
I mean, you never know. You don't know who sent that bird.
You can't be too careful these days.
So yeah, it's been a long time since I was here on the Tone Mob. I don't remember when that was. It feels like maybe like 2 years ago.
I think that's pretty accurate. I think I should have looked before we started, but I think it was like maybe one of the first 10 episodes.
Yeah, it was
maybe.
pretty early.
It was, yeah, you guys were already deep. You guys were like probably 50 plus in at the point you came on this Flim operation.
Been doing this forever.
Forever.
Like 4 years now. I just looked it up. Episode 13.
Episode 13. See, you're way more on the ball. Like I can't
13.
I can't Google things like while I'm talking. I have no multitasking ability whatsoever.
I just pulled it up on iTunes. No big deal, whatever.
No big deal. My mind can do multiple things at once. I'm sorry, your feeble one can't. This ain't no thing.
I actually had to stop doing something when you started talking. I was playing Roller Coaster Tycoon, and I was like, I wonder if I could play this while recording, and nope, I couldn't do it.
I don't know. Is it bad that I don't know what Roller Coaster Tycoon is? Is that a bad thing?
It's bad. It's a game that came out, I think, like in the early 2000s or late 90s or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I figured out how to get it running on my current model.
Oh wait, you're right. I do remember this.
It's fun. I like it.
I was thinking this was some new Facebook game that I'd never heard of, but no, this was a throwback.
Yeah, this is old stuff.
Good times.
Yeah.
Maybe you're the man who can help me get the original Diablo up and running on my current machine. Nope.
Nope. Yeah, it's a miracle that I got this running. I am not one of those guys.
I'm gonna have to find some extra nerdy people to help me out with that one.
Well, I'm sure there's some listening right now, and you're gonna get flooded with emails of people like sending you links showing you exactly how to get Diablo running.
It's amazing how that happens sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Like you kind of you view it as just like you talking out into the ether sometimes, and then it's just like it talks back.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's like, whoa.
I have to be it sounds like an awful humble brag, but I have to be careful like what questions and what things I say on 60 Cycle Hum these days, because like if I say like, oh, I'd like a guitar like this, like I'll get emails from builders like, oh, let me build you one and things like that. I was like, well, I gotta say things like every episode. I can't actually follow through on most of them. So
that does get tricky once in a while.
Yeah.
Because back in the day, it was like you kind of were. I mean, not that there wasn't anybody listening. There just wasn't as many people listening to guitar podcasts back when we started, and so the response wasn't quite as immediate as it is these days. But I don't know if you. That's kind of why I wanted to talk to you and get you back on, because I feel like we're both in a completely different space than we were when you first came on, and you've been doing it for a lot longer than I have. So I'd be curious to see how you thought this whole weird guitar media world has evolved since our last conversation.
Well, as everyone knows, that you and I and every other guitar podcaster out there are just filthy rich now. I mean, we're all doing this full time. We're we're the go-to media for anyone who's trying to advertise, and it's just like I feel like I'm turning down money every day.
Every single.
It's like that for you, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's feel like Scrooge McDuck over here, just diving into that vault, just swimming around, and it's the industry you get into if you want to get filthy rich. It's
a burden at this point. I mean, I've got to hire a team of people to manage the money at this point. Mm-hmm. I know that you're in the same boat.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I know that you quit your job a while back, right? And you're doing like kind of media marketing stuff behind the scenes for companies now.
Yeah, exactly. Which is, I mean, we make jokes about the podcast, but it's directly tied to doing the podcast. It was where I got to talking to different people, and made a bunch of connections through that, and yeah, it's letting me to be able to basically kind of be a consultant for
That's
multiple
fantastic.
different companies. Yeah, it's I love it. I
Yeah.
really do. It's so much more fun and so much more what I'm wired for. I really really love it and really appreciate the work from everybody. If you guys are listening, I can't name names, but if you guys are out there listening, thank you
Yeah,
so much.
that's great that you get to have, a gig that's connected and related, but then like you get to be kind of behind the scenes with it and not have to deal with an audience. The worst part of it, right? Audience.
uh yeah, I mean, there's definitely some sticky points with that, as you know, and you've ran into various controversies slide your way, and you
Oh,
have to
sure.
figure out how to deal with them. That
I
is
mean,
sticky, but what's
slide
great
our
about
slide our way, or we manufactured them, or
yeah, you guys are the ones that manufacture. I'm always like, no, put the fire out, get out of here.
I'm
I'm
like
not interested.
throw gas on that.
Yeah,
I want it real big.
I'm running at it with a fire extinguisher, and you're throwing dynamite sticks at it.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm doing kind of, just more of the same as what I was doing back then. I'm doing more paid demos. I'm figuring out more ways to kind of like make little streams of money here and there, doing the podcast and doing demo videos and doing other content. So it's been good. Like it's been starting to make more and more sense as it goes on. But man, we're 4 years into it and it's just now like starting to make a little bit of sense financially. So it's like that's what people have to look forward to if they're thinking they're going to get into doing a podcast or a demo channel and think they're going to get rich quick.
and I really do think that that's more the norm than actually the
Oh
you
yeah.
hear about the wildly successful podcasts that all of a sudden are these huge, massive downloads, massive sponsorships, all this stuff. And those are the ones that grab headlines. But there's like probably millions of podcasts at this point.
Uh-huh.
Most of them just kind of struggle to stay around. Like
Yeah. It's a labor of love for the vast majority of us.
mhm. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, even if you are making some money, the amount of work that you put in to get there, you there's so many other things you could have done. If money was your goal.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, I wouldn't it's I wouldn't discourage anyone from doing it. It's been
No,
great for me. But
it's a fantastic hobby, and it connects you to people who are connected to the stuff that you love. I mean,
mhm.
I want everyone to start a podcast.
I mean, I am a huge podcast fan. So
Oh, yeah.
it's like I do want everyone to start a podcast so I can have more choices and more variety of people to listen to. But it's a weird world. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now if it wasn't for the podcast. The podcast is very
Yeah,
important.
I really just want to listen to my friends talk without actually having to be on the phone with them or in the same room with them. That's really
Is
all I
that the
want.
goal?
That's the goal. Like, that's why I want everyone to start a podcast. I can listen to my friends talk to each other, and I don't have to do anything. It's like throwing a party, and you don't have to buy any food. It's fantastic.
That sounds like the laziest form of friendship.
That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the laziest form of friendship possible.
I see. I've always took you as that type of guy.
That's me. You figured me out.
So, random question, because we haven't talked about much other than our online interactions.
Oh, we're just talking about ourselves and how great we are and the stuff that we do because we're so important.
I do want to know about the stuff you do. That's why you're back.
I'm back. I guess that's why I'm a guest on your show.
Mm-hmm.
Here I am. You want to talk to me about me?
I do. It's true. Tell me about Germany. I know you guys talked about it on your show, but
Sure.
Tell me what you can tell me about how that came together and what you did over there. I know this is old news for a lot of people at this point, but
Sure.
Still, let's refresh.
Pretty exciting, and it's like I'm still amazed that it happened. But so long story short, there was this event that was hosted by a couple companies the year previous, and they tried to take it over from the person who organized it, and that person being Henning Polly, from the YouTube channel HP42. He was like, well, I can do this again on my own without you guys, with a different company. And so that's what he did. It was just like a YouTuber event where everyone flies out and they spend a week messing around with gear and making videos with each other. So he put it together with Toman Music in Germany this time versus the other companies that we won't mention. And for some reason, I got on his radar as a YouTuber, and he invited me, and the whole thing was paid for. All my travel, all my hotel costs, all my food costs were completely covered. And I was like, there's no way I can turn this down. I've got to go. So I got on a little airplane, and I flew all the way to Germany and spent a week there just making videos, hanging out with people, eating food. It was pretty fantastic. It was just an amazing experience, getting to hang out with everyone and getting to experience a different country. I'd never been to Europe before, let alone Germany. And man, there's so much to say about it. I mean, something that not everyone knows about Germany is they just love apple juice over there, and they serve it with
I
every.
had no idea. That's so crazy.
They serve it with every meal. Like, they're more into apple juice than they're into water. I'll say that. And like, I had apple juice with breakfast today, and I was like, it takes me back. I would have never had apple juice with a meal before. Then I went to Germany, and here I am drinking apple juice.
I had no idea that was a thing. I figured they would have a doppelbock with every meal or something.
Well, yeah, but you know, you have the apple juice there to balance it out.
That's
I don't know.
fascinating.
I only went down that road because I still had the cup in front of me where I drank apple juice this morning. But yeah, it was pretty amazing to go there and do all this stuff. And I really hope that I get to do it again. I hope they organize it again and I'm invited again. I know that I had different goals than a lot of the YouTubers there, and I made way more content, but then the quality was a lot lower. So it's like,
okay.
so I made like 30 something videos, and other people made like 8 or like 10. But I was just like running and gunning, like, I'm going to play this guitar. I'll set up an iPhone and record myself playing and talking about it instead of waiting for like an official room to open up. That's
Right.
kind of how I roll. So we'll see if in a year they look at my body of work and think that it's worth it for me to go back based on content versus quality, I guess.
Or just your body in general.
My body of work, and my body that I've been working on.
Mm-hmm. I like it.
Mm-hmm. My working body.
Working man's body.
Getting to hang out with everyone there was incredible. Like, all the people that, you know, I watch on YouTube were there with me, making videos, being themselves in real life, which turns out like none of us have the ability to fake who we are, so we're exactly who we are on camera. It's just you don't stop watching after 10 minutes. You're like, after 10 minutes, you're still hanging out with Glenn Fricker. You know, he's still here.
Here he is. It's funny. This is funny. I never really talked about Glenn before, but like this is the second time he's come up in conversation on a podcast that I was on. Like, I was just recording with Brian yesterday, and he was talking about Glenn. And my thing about Glenn is he is angry in real life as he seems on YouTube.
He's angry, but he's sweet.
Okay,
like,
got
that
it.
makes sense. Like,
it does.
Like, that's his personality, where he's just like, I'm ready to be angry about this. But he's, you know, if you're there with him in person, he's, you know, he's all about you. He listens to you. He wants to have conversations with you. Like, he's a very nice person.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm always glad to hear that people are nice and not sometimes the angry self they portray on the internet.
Well, you know, he's got that personality, and I think it's very entertaining for his audience. And, you know, people who stumble across his stuff, to watch someone rant on things and to be kind of aggressive with their opinions. I think it's fun, you know.
Oh, it is a good time. No one likes lukewarm. So that
Exactly.
that definitely is not his MO. So
Yeah, exactly.
good times. Had you hung out with Jay Leonard J prior to that?
I had not. It was my first time getting to hang out with Jay. Jay and I became fast friends in Germany, and we're spending a lot of time together. Uh, he's a blast.
He's amazing.
He's a ton of fun.
He's got to be one of the coolest guys.
Yeah.
In any, like, not just in the industry. He's just one of the coolest guys I've ever talked to.
I had sat across the table from him at your pizza party at NAMM a couple years back. And I was like, oh, hey, there's Jay. And we said hi across the table, but then we didn't actually talk. So it took flying to another country, like 20 hours away, for Jay and I to actually hang out when we live in the same time zone. You know?
Oh, I mean, tell me about it. Like, there's so many guys in Portland, as you know, that I don't ever see until NAMM.
Yeah.
It's like we're like a 20-minute drive from each other.
Oh,
but
Jay is just a monster player. Like,
oh geez,
no joke. Like the demos that I do, they come together because I do like 20 takes.
Mm-hmm.
He picks up any instrument and is just on point every time. Like, it's ridiculous.
He still I kind of wish I would have recorded it like 2 years ago or 3 years ago, maybe, I can't remember. We were at the Tacoma Guitar Show and Jay was there and he was just playing some pedals and he was demoing some stuff, and I think I was talking to Chris Benson and Leon and a couple other guys, and we all just looked. We were kind of on the side and we just turned around and we're like, who is doing that? Oh, it's Jay.
Yeah.
And it was like, that is insane. Like it's some of the best playing I've ever heard ever.
Yeah. There was a party that we had in Germany that Toman threw, where they had a house band come and play a set. But of course, like halfway through their set, everyone's done eating dinner, and like, all the demo guys just start wandering on stage and taking over. And Jay made his way up there, and it's honestly like the stuff of legend within that group now. Like, everyone just could not stop talking about Jay playing on the stage and like his stage persona and performance and stuff. He just takes over. It's incredible.
That's what he does too. Like,
yeah.
He does demos and stuff, but he's a hired gun. Like, I don't know if you listened to the first episode he did with me, but he has so many stories about touring Asia and playing. Like, there are artists that we don't know who they are because we don't pay attention because we're dumb Americans. But
I don't know who anyone is anymore. I mean, it's not hard to do.
But he's playing with these like really big, Asian pop bands from various countries and like big events like arenas and stuff. So I mean, that's a honed skill that he has.
Yeah, I mean, he is just in the pocket 24/7. It's incredible.
Mm-hmm. And he makes everything. He's got that Andy Martin thing of where he makes everything sound good. It's like, man, I want that pedal now. I really do.
Yeah, exactly. You could throw him a piece of string and he would hold it between his hands and pluck it with his thumb, and he'd be like, where can I buy that string?
What kind of floss is that? Is that coated floss? What do we got going on here?
Exactly. I'm trying to remember if there's anything else from Germany that stands out that I'd want to mention. I mean, it really is like the people was the biggest part of it. Hanging out in Germany was the second biggest part of it, and then of course getting to mess around with gear was awesome. Man, it was just an incredible experience, and I hope to do it again.
What's that facility actually like? I mean, it obviously looked like a big old German building, but like,
so it's really interesting.
Okay.
I went to Sweetwater for their Gear Fest 2 months back or something like that. Mm-hmm. And so I was hot on the heels of coming back from Germany. Went to that. Sweetwater is what I was expecting Toman to be, where it's a great big modern facility, huge modern warehouse, and a modern storefront, like music shop sort of area. Toman has their modern warehouse buildings that are recent builds, but their storefront, like, you walk through the front door of what was the original cottage shack that like great grandpa Toman started selling trumpets and, like flugelhorns out of like 100 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So you walk in through the first version of Toman, and then you just start to go back into add-on rooms. Like every time they grew, they just added on another room onto the back of the building. So it turns into this MC Escher nightmare of stairs and buildings that are different ages, or I mean rooms that are different ages with different like construction styles, and just honeycombs backwards from this original room. There's now just like the lobby. You walk in and there's a desk there. And the farther back you go, the newer the rooms get and the bigger they get and the more that's going on. And you're going to upstairs rooms that are above everything. And it's just this incredible honeycombed building that's full of history. And I don't think most like US based businesses would do it that way. They would have gotten a couple rooms deep and then moved to another building and then done that 4 or 5 times until they landed into a showroom that was connected to a gigantic modern warehouse. And then just keeping this original building and just continuing to add on to it is just it has a ton of character. It's a blast to walk around. It's a very authentic and sincere feeling. It's got a lot of personality.
That's very, very interesting. I was surprised, and the reason I asked is because like a lot of the videos that were done, they looked like they weren't very big rooms, and so I was like, this is like one of the powerhouses of music retail, which actually a lot of Americans may not even realize.
Oh, sure, they're the Sweetwater of Europe. Like they're huge.
All of Europe.
Yeah, like, all of Europe.
Yeah, they're a huge operation.
And their warehouse facility, their modern warehouse is fully comparable to what I saw at Sweetwater. Like it's huge. And it's, got all this automation and just people running around shipping stuff and giant conveyor belts where it just spits out, orders all day long every day. You look at the conveyor belt and like every single one of those packages just got ordered and is going out this moment. Pretty incredible.
That's insane. I would love to see some of that stuff. It's kind of fascinating to see a big machine like that work. It's just, somebody had to design all those systems and all the thought that went behind it, and to make sure that thousands of these packages go where they're supposed to go every day. It's kind of a trip.
It was kind of like being in one of those, how it gets made videos, or, like picture from Mr. Rogers, just watching stuff get picked off the shelves by robots and then dropped down to conveyor belts, down to like the sorting thing, down to like people who are going to check the product before it goes out and do setups on good cars and stuff, and back onto conveyor belts. Like so many steps of the process to get product out the door as soon as it's ordered. It's pretty incredible.
Mm-hmm. That's fascinating.
Yeah.
I didn't see all of the, and that's probably not what they want their main focus to be, but did anybody take any footage of some of that stuff, or are they trying to keep that as under wraps as they can?
So we all got the tour the first day of the warehouse, and we were all filming. All the YouTubers were filming. And I think we were all looking at each other after it, like, we all filmed this. Like, if one of us publishes it, maybe the rest of us don't need to. So I don't know if anyone actually published their footage, but I didn't publish any of mine of the warehouse stuff. I probably should look into that and see if I should do it.
I didn't see any, but I'm not subscribed to everybody that was there. So,
well, why not?
Because I don't go on YouTube very much.
It's okay. I'm not subscribed to everyone either. I mean, there were like 30 YouTubers there. It was ridiculous.
I only know like the people that are kind of active in the podcast community as well. Like Jay and Stefan and you, and I didn't even know everybody that was there. So.
Yeah. What do you think of Dan and Mick from the Pedal Show podcasting now?
I think that I tried to get them on the podcast and they didn't answer me, so I'm offended about it. No, I'm not really offended. They probably dismissed it. I did it in the most unprofessional way possible, which is an Instagram DM, so they may not have even seen it.
Oh, you didn't use one of your pigeons, huh?
I didn't use the pigeons. I hear a guy shoots them when
You know what? They're like, there was a couple people there that are just miles above the rest of us as far as like subscriber numbers go.
Mhm.
So it's like, if I was at that level, if I had hundreds of thousands of subscribers, I'd probably have someone working my Instagram for me. I probably wouldn't get every message, and I probably wouldn't have time to answer every message because it would be a lot. I'm sure.
It's a notoriously awful way to communicate, because like it's not like most people, don't have like notifications on for
Oh
those, and
yeah,
like, it's a terrible way to do it. So I'm really just making fun of myself, because if I really, I'm sure they would be not, at least they would at least be nice. They wouldn't just ignore me if I went through an actual legit communication channel. They would probably
well, who knows?
actually respond. I
They
don't know.
might ignore you if you call them on the telephone. They answer the phone and they just hear you talking and they just like, leave you on hold. I don't know.
To be fair, if that was me calling myself, I would ignore me too. So
Dan and Mick are real nice. They were fun to hang out with.
they
But
seem like really cool guys, and I love what they've done.
Yeah.
I'm very impressed by it.
Yeah, they're nice guys.
They seem like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but YouTube can get pretty nasty, as you've experienced. It seems like
Oh yeah.
Dan and Mick are like universally loved by everyone, though. Pretty much. Maybe they probably have a different perspective, but like I've never heard anyone be like, "Oh, that pedal show, those guys are stupid."
Yeah,
Like,
no, yeah, I've never seen anyone trash them online. Like people seem to love them. The thing that I can't wrap my head around is that they do an hour video show where they just kind of like ramble around and like do whatever comes to mind, and they're just kind of like hanging out real chill, and just people love watching them. I feel like I can't make a 6-minute video without losing people halfway through. So just it's incredible that they have what it takes to keep people engaged for an hour. That's just amazing.
it is. It's and which, that's why it makes sense that they would also put it out in podcast form. I'm
totally.
kind of surprised that they didn't do that, from the get-go. It's very much friendly to that. I mean,
well, there's
granted,
more,
what they do is a little more involved, but
there's more money in YouTube. I'll say that right now.
well, yeah, if there's more people. Like
Yeah.
everyone knows what YouTube is. Like,
And it's easier to monetize it too. I mean, you have to have a lot of numbers for it to like actually make money, but it's a lot easier to monetize your YouTube content than podcast.
it is for sure. And
Although that might be changing. Who knows?
well, there's some interesting, services and things where that they're trying to make it more friendly, but I personally don't go for any of those. So a lot of them have seemed a little shady and a little weird, and I don't really think people want like an apple juice commercial in the middle of their guitar podcast. I'm not saying I'm not against it, but if there's ever a reliable way to do it that's not going to annoy everyone, I'm down.
You know who wants an apple juice commercial in their podcast? Germans.
Well, that's true.
Germans,
and I do got a decent amount of subscribers from Germany.
And it's with podcast advertising, there are ways to do it. I'll have to talk to you after we're done recording to tell you industry secrets. There's ways you can do it now where you can target like specific geographies.
Oh, I know.
Oh, okay. We both know the same secrets, and we'll discuss it in our secret podcast basement later.
Oh, we do. We do have a secret podcast basement on Facebook that no one ever goes to.
It's not even a secret; it's public.
It is.
Anyone could find it.
I know, and they'd find a whole bunch of nothing in it.
Yeah.
Like I remember thinking that was going to be a really cool thing, and then it's like I'll just talk to Ryan or
exactly
whoever. Like I'm not gonna.
No one actually needs a group that's just for podcasters. We don't actually need to talk.
Not like that. I mean, if I need to talk to you, I'm just gonna call you.
Exactly. It's so easy to make Facebook groups, though. Like
you have so many.
I do.
How many do you have?
I haven't counted. I don't want to count. But it's like the way that websites used to be like, oh, I just had an idea, footmassage.com, I'll buy it. And people used to just collect domain names. Now you can just collect Facebook groups. Any idea that you have, I'm going to start a group about it, And it's free.
It's true.
It's free.
It is free.
and you never know.
Well, that's a good point. You know you could you that seems to be, now that I think about it, that does seems to be your method for everything. You're just always trying stuff.
Oh yeah.
Let's just see if it works. And I'm always like, I got to think about it a little bit, and then that leads to inaction. But you're a throw it at the wall and see what sticks type of guy.
Yeah, I guess maybe that's my personal brand, so I can get away with it. And it's like I'm also comfortable just abandoning things if they don't work out. So I leave a trail of wastelands behind me.
Just
empty,
Ryan's path of destruction.
Empty pages and groups and websites and projects that I've started. You know,
so many dead projects.
Yeah.
Good times.
Yeah.
Good times.
Yeah. Thanks for depressing me.
Hey, that's what I'm here for. ToneMob.com podcast, the podcast for depressed YouTubers. That's what it's all about.
Do you ever eat at I mean this is a big sidetrack. Do you ever eat at Panera? You a Panera fan?
I have ate there a few times and it's not bad.
So I listened to this podcast called The Doughboys. Everyone can go check that out if they want. I'm not connected to it in any sort of way. I'm just a listener. But
I was about to say, is this another failed project?
No. It's
okay.
these guys who are in the entertainment industry up in Hollywood or whatever. But they go around to chain restaurants and review the chain restaurants. And a recent episode, they were talking about Panera, and they just summed it up so perfectly. They were saying that Panera is the place that people go to like sign divorce papers. Or like it's just a depressing place. It feels like an airport restaurant. Like you're there because it's like a utility, you know, and the food is just kind of that like, oh, you know, like turkey sandwich with a basil spread and a slice of provolone and leaf lettuce. Like you could have gotten this from any airport restaurant.
Right. Yeah. The few times that I've ate there, it's been a like, well, I don't really want to eat McDonald's.
Right.
You know,
right.
I don't.
You don't actually have anything in mind that you want to eat, but you need to eat, and you don't want to eat fast food in air quotes. You want to eat something that kind of resembles food you might make at home, but then you don't really know what you want. It's like, okay, yeah, that sandwich is okay. Yeah, I'll take a side of soup.
Yeah, that's a very accurate description of Panera in my experience.
I just been thinking a lot about people going there to sign divorce papers or to like break up with their boyfriend or something like that. Hey, you want to go to Panera? Let's go to Panera. No, I don't think I'm ready to go to Panera right now, honey. Like maybe some other time.
Yeah, if your wife asks you out to Panera Bread, you know that you're gonna have to just try to stay home.
Yeah. No, let's avoid that. Let's let's go watch a movie or something.
I don't think I think we can make another meal work. Yeah. I'll really try this time. I'll really try.
Yeah.
Don't make me go to Panera.
If your significant other is asking for you to take them to Panera, you sideline that into taking them on a really nice date, because nothing good happens at Panera.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, oh yes, Panera Bread or the fanciest steakhouse in town. How about that?
Let's go get some sushi instead, huh?
What do you think? You know, the good place with the long wait? I got reservations.
Yeah. I'll put on a shirt.
And I'll button it all the way.
Yeah. None of this 2 buttons down business. I'm going to button every button.
Honey, I got us into Dorsia. You're not going to believe it. I got us into Dorsia.
I don't know what that is, but it sounds fantastic. You could take me there, Blake.
Oh, man.
I don't want to go to Panera anymore. I want to go to Dorsia with you.
Did that American Psycho reference go just blasting over?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't spend time memorizing the names of restaurants in movies.
It was kind of a thing in that movie.
I'm trying to think of a single restaurant that I remember from a movie.
I can only think of that, and I don't even know if it's a real restaurant. Probably isn't. And the only other one I can think of is like Cat's Deli, but that's just like a super famous restaurant with delicious pastrami.
Yeah, that's a real place. The one just popped in my head. Ziggy Piggy from Bill and Ted's.
Oh yes, good pull.
Yeah,
good pull.
That's good pull.
That's actually more relevant than anything we've been talking about for the last 10 minutes.
I'm trying to steer your podcast back on track. I'm a real professional over here. You know?
You are. You're an industry professional.
I gotta say, I mean, this is more cross podcast talk, but I was on the Gear Slum a while back, and
Mhm.
I adopted this whole persona of just being like a stuck up a-hole the whole episode, and just kind of like looking down my nose and stuff. And
That's different than normal?
I know, right? I just gotta say that was a joke. I was just being silly. Go listen to that episode if you want, guys. Go listen to the Gear Slam. They're a great podcast, and I love them. And I was just taking an opportunity to play a villain. So I'm actually not stuck up. And every time I joke in that direction, it's a Tears of the Clown sort of situation where I'm being sarcastic.
Yeah, those guys are great. They let me know. Well, maybe not. Maybe my audience is a little bit different, but they let me know how much I can get away with. I'm always like, oh, gotta stay on topic. I'm like, well, the slummers don't have to. Why do I have
to? Yeah. Have you had them on the show?
I've had Cole Duke on. I have not had the rest on yet, but I need to fix that up.
You gotta get Phil on. Phil is the guy who runs that whole show. I'm telling you, he's the glue.
Yeah. I'm gonna get him on. We're gonna talk about burritos.
I mean, I love you, Aaron. I love you, Cole. But Phil is the show as far as I'm concerned.
I'm only gonna get Phil on the show. This is again a lot of inter-podcast joking, so apologies for people who haven't listened to all of the guitar podcasts.
I can't imagine people not listening to all the guitar podcasts. So
I can't either.
That's a big concept right there. Okay, sorry I interrupted. Go on with your point.
Oh yeah, I'll only get Phil on if he agrees to do a remote recording and do it at a Carl's Jr. That's the only way I'm going to be okay with it.
Or an aviary.
Yes.
If they could put an aviary around a Carl's Jr.
There you go.
A Carl's Jr. inside an aviary. That's the natural habitat of the wild Phil.
Mm-hmm. I like it. Yeah. Anyway, what were we talking about? We started talking about Panera, and the whole thing just kind of fell apart. Are we getting a divorce?
This is the Tone Mob, the other guitar podcast discussion podcast.
That's what it's kind of turned into, hasn't it?
We're talking about other guitar podcasts and other guitar media and members of those organizations.
Yes, that's all we discuss anymore.
Yeah.
And Panera Bread.
Not the bread, the sandwiches. I mean, if they were just a bakery that just sold bread, bakeries make people happy. No one signs divorce papers at a bakery.
That's true. When
you do that over a sandwich and a small bowl of soup, like you do it with food that you could walk away from and get somewhere else if you need to.
Yeah, because you don't want to sully, like you don't want to go to your favorite restaurant and sign divorce papers.
You don't want to be like, I don't want to abandon this meal. I was really looking forward to this.
Or like never be able to go back there.
Exactly. You could break up with a different person at Panera every week and have it be your thing. You can always go back to Panera.
I mean, that would be a really weird hobby if somebody was to do that, but I guess it is an option.
Imagine how awkward it would be though if you go there to break up with someone and one of your exes is there also breaking up with someone, and you like look across the Panera at each other and you're like, ooh.
I feel like if somebody's like a serial Panera breakup artist like that, they probably are in a Facebook group together. So like,
it's a community,
Yeah, it's an online community. We're the Panera Bread or Panera whatever Heartbreakers, and we go around just
Panera Heartbreakers. That's a band name right there.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Panera Heartbreakers.
The Panera Heartbreakers would definitely be a ska band.
Panera and the Heartbreakers.
Panera and the Heartbreakers. Oh man, good times.
They should have a sandwich on the menu called the Heartbreaker.
Oh man, I think that might be a little too on the nose. I think they know who's coming to their restaurant, and they don't want to dig up any wounds or anything like that.
It's off brand for them. It's too on the nose. Also, that would be like on the menu at like a diner that's like trying to act like they're giving you a heart attack. Like, oh, this is just full of fried eggs and bacon, the Heartbreaker. You're not walking away from this one,
You're gonna die if you eat this. It's a very strange form of advertising.
People die at this restaurant all the time.
Like
That's-
on the regular, usually after consuming this.
Okay, now we're inventing a restaurant, and it's going to be called the Morgue. You just go there, and everything on the menu threatens to kill you.
I mean, to be fair, I'd probably go there, right?
Of course, you'd go there. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be delicious.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the morgue, honey. I'll be back.
Yeah.
You gonna pick you up anything?
Now it's turning into an episode of Dexter or something.
I don't know. I don't know what it is.
What's a show with cannibals in it? That kind of show.
Cannibal Holocaust? I don't know. That's an old movie.
San Clarita Diet. Have you seen that one? Santa Clarita Diet?
I started watching it and then I got in trouble because I wasn't supposed to watch it without my wife
yeah.
And so I was like, okay, I won't get too far into it. But it looked like it was going to be a good show. I only watched the first episode. You
know what? It's fun. I didn't think I was going to like it. Someone told me you have to watch it. I watched it and I'm glad I did because it was a lot of fun. I wasn't expecting to enjoy watching a Drew Barrymore show so much.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt about it too. At least the first episode I got done, I was like, I really want to watch this next one.
Yeah. I also don't because she's technically a zombie in it. Spoilers. I mean, you find out first episode, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't like shows or movies where the zombies are too close to being people, where they can talk and think and do normal people stuff. But they made it a lot of fun. They did a good job with it.
All right, I'll have to revisit this again.
Yeah, it's kind of self-aware. It's a comedy that's self-aware of itself, and it breaks the wall every now and then. It winks at itself, and it's kind of like it's got like this Arrested Development sort of vibe.
Ooh, yeah, okay. Now you're talking my language.
Yeah,
I like that.
I wouldn't be surprised if it had some writers.
Mm-hmm. It's like Arrested Development where a lady is gnawing on body parts.
It's a lot of Southern California humor. I'll say that.
I don't understand those Southern Californians. They're those ones with like non-buttered toast and like all this weird stuff.
Non-buttered toast? Is that a thing?
Do you not remember?
Toast without butter on it?
Have you forgotten?
I must have.
So harken back to the days of old.
I just remembered because I hosted you, or I had you at the condo at NAM, and I had put on this big breakfast, but I forgot to bring butter, and so there was dry toast. And I was so embarrassed.
And I didn't want to say anything until you brought it up, and I was like, "Oh, good, we can talk about it," because I thought this was on purpose.
Yeah, this is how we roll here in Hollywood. We don't butter our toast.
Yeah,
we eat it dry. It helps the vocal cords. This is podcast biz stuff here.
Yeah, you wouldn't know anything about that, noob.
Welcome to the game. No big deal.
Eat your dry toast.
Oh man, I wish I had been creative enough to troll you that way back then.
I mean,
just didn't buy butter.
No, like if I would have asked like, "Where's the butter?" and you would have just looked at me, kind of like, "Excuse me, did you say butter?"
Yeah, I'm a vegan. The only thing I don't eat is butter. I eat everything else.
Yeah, but like you got eggs and bacon there. Yes, I'm anti-butter vegan or something.
Should we talk about something relatively on topic at some point?
I was thinking about it. I was trying to figure out how to segue into that, and I'm not really sure if it's doable or not.
Yeah, I could talk about new gear that I've got in. I don't know, or you could talk about gear that you have, or you could talk about stuff we like or don't like. I don't know. I don't want to tell you how to run your show. I mean, I'm not some a-hole who shows up on another podcast and tells them what to do.
I generally let the guests steer the show, so this is kind of what happens. But
okay.
No, we could talk about some new year and whatever. I've got some stuff coming in. I'm pretty excited about.
You let the guests steer the show, huh? So
oftentimes, I mean, I try not to make like a big. I still do this. So
politics. What do you think?
Politics.
Yeah,
I think.
You want to get into it? I mean,
it's not going well.
Who are you gonna vote for?
Who am I gonna vote for?
Yeah.
Probably the same person I voted for last time.
Uh-oh. Here we go. Already people are getting angry.
Yep. And I'm going to leave it at that.
Not that person again.
Yeah. Well, they don't exist, so it's kind of a weird
Oh,
deal.
well, shoot. Oh man, that's a different layer of political.
We don't want to go there. I'll
to-
start ranting and raving.
Welcome to the Tone Mob, the political anarchy podcast.
Yes, where he wants to break the system, but not in the way that you think.
Let's talk about small localized governments.
Okay. Very passionate about this. Oh gosh. No. No, Mr. Burke. So what's the coolest thing?
What are your thoughts on Israel?
Ah, jeez.
Give me a hot take.
No, I'm not giving you anything. I think it's a rough situation, and that's about all I'm going to say about it.
All right.
Yeah.
So for the record, Blake Weiland, Tone Mob Podcast, not willing to take a public stance on Israel.
Not willing to take a public stance on most things other than pineapple pizza.
Interesting. You're more willing to seriously discuss topping on a pizza than serious issues going on in the world.
Yep. This is true.
So yeah, I can talk about things that are on my desk in front of me, but I did that with the Gear Slam.
You did that with the apple juice too.
I did that with the apple juice. I do have an empty cup that had apple juice in it on my desk.
So let's get into this. You've your demo space has changed a lot, and
that is a big thing that's changed.
Yes, yeah. Let's talk about that a little bit.
So I'm gonna have a baby in October.
Congratulations!
Just give a nice pause there for everyone to sigh and get it out of the way. But anyways, so that means that my wife is sitting behind me and she's grumbling that she's the one that's going to have the baby in October.
I was about to make a comment about that, so I'm glad we're on the same wavelength.
So anyways, I lost my original music room to the baby, because that's going to be the new nursery. So I had to completely build a new set in the garage, which means for the most part I lost my garage, which I was just had stuff stacked in there anyways that I should have gotten rid of a long time ago. So I built like a whole new room in the garage that's just full of all my guitars and my amps and the pedals and everything. And it's been pretty great. I'm pretty happy with it. It's actually an easier situation for shooting video now. It was really, really hot in there, which was a big challenge with the weather lately. So I just put an air conditioner in my garage, which still feels like a funny thing to say. But it's all set up, and I'm probably going to demo as soon as we stop recording here today. I've got a pedal in from Yellow Cake Pedals.
Ooh.
It's all set up on the table. I got the cameras ready to go, and I'm going to shoot that thing.
Is that a red pedal by chance?
It is a red pedal. It's not a secret. He's got it up on his website.
It's I just wasn't sure if you had something else in from him that we weren't supposed to talk about.
No,
nope. It's the Furry and Fried?
It's the Furry and Fried.
Sweet. That thing's great.
Yeah. Oh, have you tried it?
Yes. Yeah, I've got one here too.
Shoot.
I really like that thing. I really liked the original Furry Burrito. I bought one a long time ago when they first came out, and I've always wanted to try the fried gold. And so when that thing came out, it was like, well, there you go.
You know what I gotta say? Fried gold is really stupid good, like really good. I've been using it for my church gig for the past 2 weeks, and I kind of had it always on. It just sounds really great. I'm still like messing around with the Furry Burrito, but that fried gold, it speaks to me. I'm really liking it.
It's really, really good.
Yeah.
It's just like, sometimes there's certain drive pedals, they've got it,
It's got personality is the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like it kind of does like a low mid gain sort of thing on one side of the knob, and then gets really heavy. I like to keep it around like 11 o'clock in the morning, not the evening. And it's just kind of like nicely crispy, has this kind of like tube character to it. Like it sounds like an amp style overdrive. It's just
hmm
a really fun, nice pedal.
It is. It's really good.
Yeah. And
I
then
really,
the furry burrito is
yeah.
just like sustained for days fuzz with a ton of tweakability.
Well, yeah, or not. You got to play with that little
Oh yeah.
the little LED knob.
Oh, I know.
Well, see, I had the original one for quite a while before
you figured that out.
I was like, this is a great sound, and look at all this sustain I have, and look at all this, and then I was like, why does that have ridges on it?
Yeah.
Oh, it turns. Oh, it's a pot, and I think that was the first pedal I've seen that had one of those LED pots in it. So
those little LED pots are so cool. I want a pedal that has nothing but those, like 6 LED pots, different colors.
It looks so cool.
It looks
different
really
colors.
cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've talked about it before with some people. Like I think those pots get forgotten about. I don't know if they're a little more expensive or what the deal is with them, but like I was talking to somebody about making some mini pedals, and they're like, how are we gonna fit this in there? We need one more control, and we got a LED. There's nowhere to put it. I'm like, use an LED pot and ditch the LED.
Yeah.
Like
I wonder if they just don't come with the correct value to be useful for a lot of stuff.
That could be it.
I don't know. I don't know circuit stuff. I don't know electronics. I pulled that out of my butt, so whatever.
Yeah, we're very much the same. As like we know just enough about electronics to be dangerous.
Right. I know enough to like make random suggestions to people who know how to do stuff and have them be like, no, probably not.
Do you know what a capacitor is? Do you know what it is?
Yeah,
I've heard the word before.
Just throw a bunch of capacitors in there, mix them with transistors, and you got yourself a pedal cooking.
That's right. Make sure that you do the layout right, though.
Yeah, and definitely spend a lot of money and time on the artwork, because that's the part that I care about.
It's the part that I can objectively say whether it's good or not for me.
Man, there's a pedal coming out that's being sent to me right now. I'm not going to say who it's from or what it is, but the art is over the top, and it's like nothing else I've seen from this company before. And I know I'm giving you information that you guys won't know what I'm talking about, but it's so cool. I'll talk to you about it.
Can you at least say the company? Or is that probably a no?
I don't know if I should, because I get the email says don't tell anyone, and I don't want to tell.
This company's been around for a while, right?
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, and so they've got products out there.
Well,
but you just don't tell them about this product.
When is this episode going to come out?
It could come out. Well, I guess it could come out whenever. Could come out. I guess you could talk about it, and then I could make sure it comes out at the right time, unless it's like 6 months down the road.
Yeah, it's like 4 weeks out. Well, let's not talk about it.
Okay, we won't talk about it.
Yeah,
that was a big buzzkill for everyone. They were like on the edge. Is he gonna talk? Is he gonna? Oh, he didn't.
Hey, guys, keep your eye out. September 3rd, 2018. You're gonna see it, and you're gonna know what I was talking about. Put it on your calendar.
September 3rd.
Unless that date moves, because that happens sometimes.
It does indeed happen occasionally.
Good luck on your journey.
Sometimes it's because we're waiting on demo guys.
That's never been me. They've never waited on me. I'm very. I have a clean track record as far as that goes.
That is true. I can speak from experience that I've never had to wait on you. You, however, have waited on me.
I have been waiting on you for a long time now. When is that thing going to drop? Now's your chance to tiptoe around something that isn't launched or announced yet. When are you going to drop that thing?
Well, actually, this comes out. This actually makes it pretty easy because I'm planning on. Yeah, I'm planning. Actually, nice segue into letting me plug this thing.
Thought we were going to be even Stevens on this. I guess not.
No, not this time. I'm actually going to try to drop that after I get back from Fear the Rift. So shortly thereafter. Well, we're recording this. It'll be. I get back on the 14th of August. So sometime shortly after that.
Okay, I'm going on vacation starting the 18th, so I'll be up in the mountains. You won't be able to reach me. I guess you could have Steve publish it. Yeah,
I was going to say, I know Steve. Doesn't he have access to these things?
Oh, he does. If you want it published, hit up Steve. He'll take care of it. But it was a fun video I did super long ago,
like a year ago,
in my old music room. So it's like dated now. I'm wearing this green fluffy shirt that a listener sent me, and I've green screened it. It's a very fun video.
It's a very good video. I wish it would have came out sooner. Part of the problem was some of the other releases that were sandwiched in between got delayed. This is for everyone listening. You'll hear this will be out by the time you hear this. So it's the Model 1 Germanium version, and it's purple and gold and very cool. And watch Ryan's demo to hear what it sounds like. But yeah, it got delayed by some of the delays that were happening with the Kyber, and then some other stuff. It just kept getting pushed back, and I'm like, it's kind of killing me because they're like sitting in a box here. Like I can see them right now.
You've just got like 100 pedals in a box,
and they're just like
can't do anything with them.
Not that many, but still, they're there. There's quite a few.
It's a different amount than 100. So 1,000.
Yeah, there's 4 million sitting here in a box. So limited edition, limited to 4 million units. So get them while they're hot.
Yeah, you want to get an early serial number, like below 100,000.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got to.
Yeah.
You have to.
I'm trying to even find this video. I can't even find it. It's sitting in all my stuff unpublished, and I don't know where it is.
Oh, great. Don't tell me it's gone. Oh, you know what? Random aside, that the man who sent you the green shirt, which I'm not sure I can't remember which alias he's using these days.
I know. I don't even know who he is right now.
I think he's Rom. I don't know how to say it.
Yeah.
I think that's him. But he uses a lot of aliases. I don't know if he's like a secret agent or why, but I'm actually gonna meet him at Fear the Rift. So
that's awesome. Say hi to him for me.
I will say hi to mystery secret agent man.
Finally, he'll get to see his shirt that he sent me in a video when you video.
Finally.
Yeah.
Man, so we're getting close to the end of the main part. I do need to ask you, since we've failed to stay on any sort of topic. I need to ask you if your pizza allegiance has changed or if it's still the same.
Well, I'm sure that last time I said my go-to pizza is pepperoni jalapeno.
Yes.
Do you have that written down somewhere? Is that how you remember that?
No, I just remembered that one for some reason because I really like pepperoni jalapeno.
You remember every pizza that's been ever mentioned to you?
No, I don't.
That you've ever eaten.
I wish, but I do remember an odd number of them, and I'm so excited to go to New York and eat Joe's Pizza.
Oh. That sounds great. I've never been to New York. I'd love to go there just to eat pizza. Just to, like, be able to have that metric to be like, yeah, I've had the New York pizza that everyone talks about, and now I can compare this other pizza to it.
It did really change things, and also I was very skeptical. I think I've talked about this before. I was like, I'm looking at it. I'm like, it looks like a piece of pizza. Like, what's the big deal, right?
It looks like I don't know if you have these up there, but we have a chain or like a style of pizza here called New York Giant Pizza, and it's the cheap pizza that you get for parties because it's like 40 inches wide, and everyone gets a big slice, and that's the end of it. But it's just like a thin crust with kind of room temperature cheese on it by the time you get it. And that's kind of what New York pizza looks like in shows. It looks like that style of pizza, but then it's got to be better than that, right?
It's way better. Like, it's like I even in person, I was like, this still, I went to the classic, like, depends on who you talk to. It's hard to, to know what is the classic place, but universally, like, most people seemed to agree, at least people I talked to, that Joe's Pizza is, legit. And I went there and I got a slice and I just looked at it and like, this looks like a piece of pizza, but I ate it and I was like, oh no, what was I thinking? Like,
is it a flavor thing or is it a texture thing?
It's everything. It's the whole package. The texture, the crust is just right. It's got just enough crunch to it, but it's still, a pizza crust.
Right.
And then like how whatever they're using for sauce, and it's the whole package.
Right. I'll have to make my way over there someday and try some out. We have a pizzeria here called Pizzeria Luigi's, and I'll say right now that they're my favorite pizza in all of San Diego. And if the crust can outdo that in New York, I'd be really impressed, because it's this perfect thin style crust where, like, even at the tip of the pizza, you bite into it and there's a little bit of like a snap. And then like as you pull away, like you feel the bread inside like stretch and pull. Like that's a premium pizza crust experience. It's not just a soggy piece of bread with stuff on top of it. It's not a crispy cracker with stuff on top of it. It's this combination of like a little bit of a crisp, and it's dry on the bottom. It's not oily on the bottom. And then like this gentle tug as you pull away, and the bread inside is soft and chewy. Like that's the ticket right there, in my opinion.
That sounds perfect.
Yeah.
That sounds absolutely perfect.
Yeah. It's a kind of crust where like you don't need to load it with toppings. Like you can do a more balanced pizza where you just have a little bit going on, a couple globs of sauce, good cheese on there, a little bit of meat and some jalapenos, and that's all you need. It's good stuff.
That sounds kind of like some of the New York pizzas. Like right. They didn't load them down. In fact, a lot of the it's hard for me not to get pizza with some meat on it, at least some pepperoni or something. But a lot of the New Yorkers are like, if it isn't good as a cheese slice, it's not good pizza.
Totally.
And I'm like, yeah, it's a valid point. And I could definitely eat a lot of that stuff as a straight cheese slice. It's not that I did, but I could.
Yeah, if an ice cream company can't make a good vanilla, what are they even doing? Like, you have to be able to make a good slice of cheese pizza, or like what good are you?
You're not a pizza.
Yeah, if you go to some fancy hipster pizza place that puts like avocado on things or whatever, and they can't give you a good slice of cheese pizza, they haven't spent their time in the trenches.
Yeah, they haven't done their due diligence.
Their due diligence. They got to do that due diligence.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I agree with you. I want to try that Pizzeria Luigi. That sounds pretty good.
It's pretty good. If you make it down here sometime, I'll take you. I have to take you if you make it down here.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
And I do need to get down to San Diego. I've never been to San Diego, at least not that I can remember. I might have been there as a little kid or something, but I don't remember.
You should do it. You should definitely come down here, and we should make some content together.
Tent.
Yeah, yes. Let's pitch some tent.
Oh yeah. All right, Ryan. Well, we've crested the hour mark, and I know you got some other stuff to do.
Yeah.
And I was gonna try to coerce you into doing a little extra for Patreon.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Gotta take care of the Patreons.
We got to.
Yep.
So we're gonna hang up this one, and we're gonna start another one.
Hey, you know what? To help you get Patreons, I'll tell you in the Patreon what pedal I'm talking about that isn't released yet.
Ooh, there we go.
How about that?
Oh, that is spicy. I like that. That's a hot take.
You do have to publish that. I guess you could publish it closer. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. All right. So for Ryan, this is Blake, and as always, folks, good luck and good tones. There you have it, folks. There's another one in the can. If you haven't already, and I can't imagine that you're not, go check out the 60 Cycle Hum podcast. It's a lot different than this. They actually talk about guitar stuff most of the time, so that's helpful. But yeah, anywhere you get your podcasts, you can find 60 Cycle Hum, the guitar podcast. And Ryan and Steve sit down every week, and they discuss random guitar-based topics. They discuss ads they find on Craigslist and Reverb and all kinds of things. So make sure, if you're not there already, go check out 60 Cycle Hum. And as for the pedal that we talked about, the Model 1 Germanium Edition, that is available. They've been available for a couple days, and we've got, I think, I think we've got 18 or 20 left. I'll have to check the inventory. But they are available right now if you go to tonemob.com/store. You can check out the demos. You can check out Ryan's demo. You can check out one by RJ Ronquillo, which is just, that dude just shreds. And he did a really good job on that. So tonemob.com/store. You can find it. And it's a nice sparkly purple and gold fuzzy box of deliciousness. So once we're done with these, I don't know that we're going to do any more Model 1s. There's definitely not any planned. And I think we'll be moving on to other projects. So check out that if you're interested. I think it turned out fantastic. Solid Gold Effects built it for me just like the last one, and uses new old stock germanium transistors and has like a more overdriven type character to the fuzz. It's a little mellower, a little warmer, but still really wild because it's the Model 1. It's a wild pedal. So go ahead and check that out. And just like last week, if you could share this with one person, that would really, really mean the world to me. Just any of your guitar friends, if you think they would enjoy these ramblings, you could just share it with them. That would be absolutely fantastic. I would really, really appreciate it. And if you need to hear what Ryan's talking about, then you can go to patreon.com/tonemob and check out if any of the levels, if they seem appropriate for you, if they work for you, and you get that good stuff that you need. There's different I think I've talked about it before. There's different levels of patronage, I guess you would say, to you can subscribe to, and you get different benefits at those different levels. So go ahead and check that out too if it's something you're into. As always, thank you so much for listening. There would be no point in doing any of this if you weren't here listening. So thank you, thank you, thank you, and I will talk to you next week. One last thing before we totally sign off here. I just want to remind you that if you do any shopping at Stringjoy, that's Stringjoy guitar strings made in Nashville, that will help me out as well. As I've said for years, I'm heavily involved in that company, and I really do think they're making the best products on the market. So if you would like to try custom strings, go to tonemob.com/stringjoy and check them out today. I seriously love what the team down there is doing. I help them out with all kinds of things, and by you supporting them, you are also supporting me as well. And hey, you need some strings, so why not get some custom strings just for your guitar and playing style? Again, the link for that is tonemob.com/stringjoy, and that will take you right to their website, and you can do all your shopping through there, and that will help everyone involved out. So thank you very much. Talk to you next time. We are brought to you by the wonderful folks at Gun Street Wiring Shop. Yes, Gun Street Wiring Shop. I've talked about them before. I used to say based out of Bend, Oregon, but guess what? Sean moved to my neck of the woods. Sean's in Portland. Sean is awesome and has helped me with a bunch of stuff lately. And if you have wiring needs for your guitar, he can help you too. If you want to get weird with it, he can get weird. If you just need to spruce things up a little bit, there's your guy. He takes all the guesswork out of doing your guitar wiring, and he makes it simple, and his customer service is top-notch, and I can't say enough good things about Gun Street as a company. I really respect Sean and what he's all about, and the product is top-notch. I've got 3 different guitars that now have Gun Street harnesses in them, and I could not be happier. So go to gunstreetwiringshop.com and check them out.